There we go. So if you could all look up here, that'd be awesome. If statements, also known as conditional statements. I want to add that. Even Google knew what they were. If statements or conditional statements are ways that we make our program do certain things depending on what is happening. So here's a secret number guessing game program, just the output. I'm thinking of a secret number, make a guess. So then the person guessed 7. And then it says, your guess is too low, try again. So see, that was inside the program. There was some logic set up that checked, hey, is this number the right number? Is it too low? Is it too high? And it's reporting the right result depending on what happened. So this is the kind of thing we do with what's called an if statement. So I'm going to show you an if statement. Here's a input line. We learned input on Monday. N equals int input, make a guess. This could have been right out of that program that I just showed you the output. And then here's the if statement, the second line. If n equal secret number, print you got it. So a couple things. This an if statement. If you're going to check if something's equal to something, you have to use 2 equal signs. That's just the way it works. 1 equal sign tells Python that you're storing something in another variable. And so since we're not storing anything here, we're checking if things are equal, we have to use 2 equal signs. And then an if statement line has a colon on the end. And then notice the next line is indented. This is really important. Everything that's inside of the if, everything that's supposed to happen if that thing is true, is indented. Kind of like we had to indent things to put them inside of a loop. We have to indent things to have them be inside of an if statement. So that print you got it will only run if n is equal to the secret number. That's the logic here. What kind of statements can we use with an if? If we're checking text, you would use quotes around the text that you're checking. So if I had a name variable, like if you asked the user to enter their name, and then you were checking if they were LeBron James, you could say if name equal LeBron, and then you still use the double equals with pieces of text, with strings, but you have to put the text. You see there's quotes around LeBron here. Instead, you can't just write LeBron because then it thinks you have a variable named LeBron, which you could, but so we can also in if statements use all these operators. So check it out along the top. We have equal, and then we have greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to, so that you do that by just typing the less than symbol and then an equal sign just right next to each other. And then we have greater than and we have less than. And then the last one, you might not understand, the exclamation point equal sign, that means not equal. So here's an example of each one. If n is equal to 7, if n is greater than or equal to 7, if n is less than or equal to 7, if n is greater than 7, if n is less than 7, and then finally if n is not equal to 7. These are 6 different checks. Questions? Wow. Oh, there we go. So here's a sample program. Yes, a question.
My PC isn't connected to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so I'll help you with that in a minute. Right now, just pay attention up here, and we'll deal with that later. Okay. Yeah, we're having some network problems that are not things I can fix, but we have workarounds. So if you look up here, here's a sample program, just a 7-line program. I'm asking the user, please guess my age. So n equals int input, and then parentheses, and please guess my age. And now I'm checking. Hey, if n is less than 57, print too low, I'm older than that. If n is equal 57, lucky guess you got it. And if n is greater than 57, I'm not that old, come on. I am, I'm 59. So I just didn't update my slide from when I wrote this 2 years ago, but you guys are going to be with me when I turn 60 in a month, October 5th. I don't think we have class that day together, though. I'm not sure. You hope we do, because I'm going to make you sing happy birthday.
I will gladly.
You saw me playing the guitar. I'm not even fooling around. And you know who's in charge of your grade, right? I am. So if I don't hear you singing, bad things can happen. Okay, so this program asks the user to guess my age, and then it does the right thing based on whether they guess too low, too high, or exactly right. And notice each one of these things, you have a colon on the if line, and then the next line's indented with a tab. That's how these things work. And each of these ifs has to have a colon on the end. So one more thing for today. We're going to have to learn how to repeat forever in a loop. You can repeat forever by just saying while true. You know, until now we've had a couple of loops where we said while x is less than 7 or 10 or something. That's very specific. But if you say while true, that's just basically true is always true. The word true is true. So that just means repeat forever. Can anyone tell me what this thing will print out? Mila? It's definitely going to print a 5, and then it's going to print what? Theo? A 7, and then what's going to print? 9, 11. Can you think of a problem with this code? Well, it's going to run forever, right? It's going to go 5, 7, 9, 11, just go forever. And it's kind of fun to write programs that go forever sometimes. So you can try it on your own. The problem is it'll go forever because there's no way to get out of the loop, because we said while true, like repeat forever. But this program, I updated it so that it'll stop at a certain point. Check it out. So same program, x equals 3, while true, and then x equals x plus 2, print x. But I added a check. If x is greater than 10, then there's a new command, break. That gets you out of the loop. Break means leave the loop you're in. And so now what it'll print would be 5, 7, 9, and then 11. And then at that point, 11 is bigger than 10, so it bails out. 5, 7, 9, 11. So in today's program, we're gonna make a while true loop, and it's gonna have if statements, and one of them is gonna have a break. Any questions? So here's what's up. We're gonna do an assignment that's right here. Make a new REPL. We're gonna okay, and then I want to see your work on your screen, and you'll turn it in on the Google Classroom. And then after some of you have started finishing this, then I'm going to post. We're going to literally write a number guessing game program. That's a separate assignment. So we have 2 assignments today. Richard's here to help. Everybody, look back there and say hi, Richard. Oh, come on, more enthusiasm. Hi, Richard. Okay, so Richard and I are going to help with both these programs. The first program is so you can just do an if statement. That's just basic if statement, and then you also do a while true, and then before we go to trying to put it all together to make a number guessing program. So I have to just stop the recording